It's like the fan going on my computer or something.
Well, no, it's only when you're talking.
Hmm.
So it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it'd be called, but it's all good. No worries. What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing tonight? Where Jason? I was just about to wish Jason happy birthday, and he dips out. Tom, Jacob, how are y'all?
Doing good, Justin. How are you?
Pretty good, man. No complaints at all. Everything is going well. What's up, Josh?
What's going on?
Oh, not a lot. Like your gavel there.
Oh, thank you. So did the Grand Master.
Oh yeah. The current
Oh
one or the
yeah,
last one?
the current one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very nice gavel.
Yeah, we had a Goliath. We had a Grand Lodge Daniel not this Saturday, but last Saturday.
Hmm.
There a lot of them were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, "Yep, that's my gavel."
Is that a Berryman gavel or is that from someone else?
No, I actually we go to a Ren Fest over around Bastrop every year.
Yeah.
So we found a gavel. The guy puts a handle on it. It's kind of like knotty wood.
Yeah.
And then I had Brother Carney took it and put epoxy and everything in it and kind of burned it up and put all that on there. So
That's cool, man.
yeah, so next Sunday, we're going back over there. So I got to find my gavel for my next year in the East.
Mm.
Naughty wood.
Naughty wood, yeah.
Hollywood.
I'll leave that one alone. Oh gosh. So what else is what's going on with everyone Masonically tonight? Or this week?
We had our DDGM visit last Thursday.
Yeah. How'd it go?
Pretty good. Had to call down to an EA to allow our EA guy to come in.
Well, that's good. It's good
Yeah.
you're able to do that.
Gave a small presentation on stargazing lore.
Mm. You
Yeah.
gave that?
Yeah.
That's interesting. How long did you talk?
10 minutes or so.
Okay. What did you talk about?
I emailed it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Um.
Um,
Huh.
it's pretty interesting.
When did you email it?
But,
Out of curiosity.
um, day
Oh,
before yesterday.
there it is. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was Saturday.
It says change.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the topic of it.
Nice.
And it was basically on how we're changing from age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, and old guys in the lodge that built the lodge and got it to where it is today, and then new guys coming in and things changing, evolving like the stars.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Well, I'll be going to a local lodge Tuesday. The district deputy is doing his official visit, and as the district instructor, he wants me to come. I went to most of the others in my district. I forgot one, so I'll be going to this one on Tuesday. Tom, if you want to come, you can ride with me. Oh, he's not even there anymore.
Oh yeah, I could probably do that.
Are you here? Where are you at? Oh, gosh.
Where am I at?
You're at the bottom. I was looking at the top. I was like, where'd Tom go?
Yeah, I went to that OLT up in Waco this weekend.
How
That
was
was
it?
really cool.
That's good.
I was kind of thought I'd be bored in some of the parts of it, but
Hmm.
it kind of went pretty quick. But they covered a ton of information in very little time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's like getting water from
it
a fire
was
hose.
oh yes, it was interesting to me because I met some of the guys that were on the education committee that did their podcast I was telling you about the other day.
Uh-huh.
But I said, yeah, yeah, it was really informative what they're doing, and of course they knew who the Justin Jones was.
Oh,
So
okay. That could be good or bad. That could be good or bad. Well, I'm glad you went. I meant to
I
go to
didn't
Waco
hear.
and time got away from me. I didn't register in time, but I'm glad you went. Did you take Kevin?
Kevin came with us, and Martin Poulin from New Hope.
That is fantastic. Yeah, every time I
But
talk about
yeah, yeah,
OOT, people kind of dismiss it like, oh, what can really be there of a value? And then they go and they're like, oh, there's a lot of information and it's really good.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Kevin was the one that surprised me, because when we were going down, he was talking about how I am on ritual,
Hmm.
because we were doing some practicing on the way down. He said, you know what? I don't need that. That's why I don't do floor school, and I don't do this, and I don't need any of that crap. And we were going back to the hotel afterwards Friday night, and I said, did you figure out the key takeaway from tonight? And he's like, what? And I was like, well, I was like, you may not need it, but when you have new guys coming into the fraternity, the education part is something they may need and want.
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I realized that tonight. So I was like, oh, we're making a breakthrough.
Good, good.
So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's always really kind of rubbed me the wrong way when we have like a EA degree or something, and we're like, okay, listen real careful because this is stuff you have to learn. It's really important that you get it down. And then they're sitting in the worshipful master and the wardens can't even do it properly. So you're like, well, you're supposed to learn it really well. I expect you to like have it down, but just listen to what they're saying, but ignore the fact they don't know it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like, I was talking to one of the guys between sessions, and I said, yeah, I said, when I'm working with these newer guys, I try to give them a little more education on in depth on the question why we're asking it, and that,
Hmm.
because I said it seems to be that you retain it more, and he's like, exactly. He goes, and unfortunately, a lot of lodges do not do much more than the questions and answers, and that was kind of my thing when I started. I was expecting to get more than just questions and answers. So, you know, but yeah, it was in, interesting to me to have. I mean, we didn't have as big a group as Fort Worth did,
Hmm.
but like I said, it was different. I kind of was open minded when I went in, and it's like, okay, we'll see what this is all about. But I could see where it probably needs to be almost like a requirement to attend it. And
Yeah.
that was just my personal thought, because most of the guys coming into the fraternity may not be supervisors or managers of any kind. So someone needs to teach them this stuff so they can run the lodge.
Well, there's the idea that if you make it mandatory, people want to go through the chairs, and maybe that's true to an extent, but also it would kind of force lodges to slow things down. I think because if you don't get anyone that's willing to do it, well, then we'll just it justifies slowing your line a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was like, the more that me and Kevin talked on the way back, he kind of was excited about what he was hearing about, because he took the 201 class, so he got to do a whole session on the Vanguard,
Oh, cool.
which he had no idea what I was talking about, this Vanguard thing, and then the light bulb turned on, and he's like, "Hey, would you mind?" Because obviously to do that, we need to get a committee together. Do you want to chair that? I was like, I'd be happy to do it.
Nice.
So that's what I was working on today, was the scheduling for at least the next 6 months, but it's mostly the same things that I'm trying to do at Grandview. So, I said, yeah, if you do it and you fall short, you're still growing. So you're still doing what you need to do,
Absolutely.
and you follow up the following year. And
There,
hopefully the next master takes over and continues it, and hopefully you can get it.
even if you don't get Vanguard, you're implementing best practices. But
Yeah.
we got Brad here, who knows all about getting the Vanguard
Oh
going,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Dennis, who
I'm
helped him
probably
out
going to
too.
be talking to him quite frequently the next few months on that, how they did
Good,
it,
good.
because it's I've kind of printed off the tracker sheet, and I've kind of highlighted things that I think that we can accomplish.
There you go.
Some of them are a little iffy, but there's a good deal of them that we've already been doing.
Yeah,
So
sounds
it
good.
So
shouldn't be too hard.
I got a question, and maybe for Brad and Justin and everybody, because we're kind of doing the same thing. We're working towards Vanguard here in Goliad.
Hmm.
But I know there's different things you got to do. You got to go to certain places and get so many points. I know that part of it. But like, how are you supposed to prove all that? Like, do you just show them the minutes that you appointed a budget committee and all that kind of stuff, or is it like on the honor system, or how does that work when you're turning in the paperwork for the Vanguard saying that you did all this stuff?
It's the honor system.
Okay.
If somebody's lying about Vanguard, then they'll be found out.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, everybody, in the district is going to know if they really did the Vanguard or not. And as soon as they see them go up on the stage, they're going to boo them off the stage.
Like, that's a Vanguard Lodge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the hard work leaves evidence, right? And if you claim you're a Vanguard Lodge and you got 2 people showing up at your stated meetings, and you have to kind of fudge the numbers, then yeah, something's obviously up. Like, if you claim you're a Vanguard Lodge and your lodge is not growing and being healthy, then obviously you're not doing something right.
Yeah, because we're going to look at it here in a little bit and kind of see, because I think we're doing like 99% of it, and we should be pretty close, if not get it this year. But my Vanguard committee's been kind of working towards making sure we get all that information. So I just didn't know if it's on the honor system or you got to prove, like, here's my flyer for doing community service and stuff. Like, I didn't know how that all went down.
Well, you should probably have all that stuff though. All the broadcasts that you do, all the marketing that you do for all your stuff, you should keep that handy. Go ahead and print it out so that you'll have it.
Oh yeah, we got all the flyers and everything. We can go back and look at the Facebook post and say, look, hey, look, this is our flyer and stuff. So we got the information. I just didn't know kind of how that all got turned into Grand Lodge and everything.
It's honors until it can be. So
the tracker sheet also, you can fill out, this brother and this brother and this brother did this, and you turn that tracker sheet in with or you just copy and paste that onto the, the main one thing that I think has a date tied to it is the budget. If you don't get your budget committee put together and get the budget done and voted on within like the first month or two of the year of the
second meeting, you have to have it voted.
Yeah, then you're done. You're not gonna get it because it's mandatory.
Dennis, you're not in your usual place tonight.
For some reason, my speaker's not working with my computer. I can go on. I can hear the stuff in my speakers, but as soon as I hit YouTube or even doing the Zoom, it doesn't work. So I think what it is that I'm damn near out of memory. I'm just gonna have to buy another computer.
I thought maybe you're on the road or something.
No. I stayed home this weekend while Sarah and Lavinia went to Houston for her state competition, and she's got regionals next month.
Very cool. Well, that's she's a national kid. She'll do fine.
Yeah. Right. Well, if she doesn't, then we won't be going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
She's already qualified for one of the events, and so she's got 2 more to go before I agree to go to Minnesota.
Nice.
Dangle the carrot.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, we had a birthday a few days ago. I think a centennial.
Reichenberg?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mid-centennial.
I'm super excited about it.
How old are you now?
Should be.
50.
50?
You should be super excited.
50 years old.
Still.
Talk about a milestone.
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Damn, guys.
As I spent half the day, I helped a girl from Eastern Star. My wife and I went out and helped her move this morning, and about half hour into it, I tweaked my back and had to had to step off and you guys do it. Oh, that looks good. And then spent the rest of the day on the couch. On my back.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's funny, man. Well, I uploaded our recent Inner Circle, our book club conversation. So I uploaded it early this evening. So if y'all haven't had a chance, if you weren't here for that, it's in the members only on YouTube. It's pretty awesome. If you're not a member, check out the link below. You can join and get access to the members only stuff. It's good stuff. We do have another interview in the works. I have some things going on. I'll tell y'all after we get off the live, but it'll be out very soon, and it's a good one too. So lots of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be our Filipino brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and then this next week, this Wednesday, we'll be interviewing our very own Jason Reichenberg with his talking about his symposium that's coming up. Are you calling it a symposium? What are you calling it, Jason?
Well, it's all over Facebook, so it's called a summit.
Oh, okay. So you're stealing our idea.
Yeah,
I get
wow. How unoriginal.
Hey,
it. Yeah, that's pretty original.
Hey.
Well, when you hear something that's great that comes out of the mind of Dennis Yates, then you tend to.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes, I often steal English words from other people and speak them same words.
So you admit it.
If it was from anybody else, you wouldn't catch shit over it. But since it's for me, then yes.
Who's speaking at your summit?
Not me.
Okay, I gotta leave something for the interview.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Golly, man.
You have a few days to
Well,
get lined up.
but
Then.
I'll still say not me.
Then I have to go look.
I have to come on a weekday, some weird ass Monday to come speak, but I can't get the Saturday deal. I can't get the Saturday gig.
We probably want to sell tickets.
We talked about this. There was a reason why.
I love you, Jason. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Okay.
I'm just giving you shit because you're on air.
Yeah.
John, good to see your face, man. I don't think you've ever been on camera. Good to have you all in, man.
Yep, I'm borrowing my wife's computer.
Cool, man. Cool. I'm glad to have you.
Man, you guys are just lame tonight. So, was there even a quote or anything today?
No, we didn't have a quote tonight.
I've got a quote.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's who is it from? It's
I don't know. What's your quote?
From Dennis Yates.
Right. I'd have to go back on my YouTube to see who it is. It's that the quote is from. I don't know if it'll let me. Am I still on?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I was listening to. Well, actually, there's a couple of them that I really enjoyed. But I was listening to The Heart of a Champion, and that's a pretty impactful YouTube listen. If you hold on, I'm trying to find the one that I just subscribed to. It's a pretty impactful YouTube listen. If you have a chance, you ought to listen to it. But the one that I'm giving the quote off of, dang it, I cannot find him now. It's after the video that I was watching on YouTube. So I thought I subscribed to him, but I didn't. So the quote is, let's see how it goes. If you're looking for easy, you can have it, but you will also have simple. If you're looking for easy, you will be weak, because only through resistance and struggle will you gain strength.
Like
But
that.
throughout this, so that's just one little piece of a it's like a 30-minute talk on it's the title of the YouTube video was you have to work or something like that.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll try to find it real quick while we're watching. But that's the quote that I would like to give out this week. And the reason why is because I was listening to Heart of a Champion, and the very first thing that they said is a champion doesn't make excuses. A champion realizes that it takes work. A champion wakes up before the sun. A champion never lets the sun find them asleep. A champion rises to the challenge. There's so many different things that is said during that one that we could go in and have 20 different, well, we could probably have 50 different quotes off of just that one, off of the Heart of a Champion. But the reason it's fresh on my mind is because my 9-year-old girl, when she's, looking at her gymnastics and all that kind of stuff, that's what I want her to listen to. And that's what she listened to. So when she's, before she gets ready to perform, that's what I want her to hear, is that a champion puts in the work. They learn their craft, and then they go to work. They don't make excuses. They just get it done. If you want to beat if you want to beat your opponent, then you have to work harder than your opponent to win. And I was just thinking about that in life and in life, love, business, you name it. If you want the best relationship you can have with your wife, you got to put in the work. If you want the best out of your job, out of your circumstances, you got to put in the work. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want easy, you can have it. But you're going to be a simple person.
Yeah.
You can have easy, but you're going to be a simple person. I like that.
No, I do too. And I would say like this I mean, it obviously applies to everyone, but I was thinking back to when I was doing financial planning, and it's a pretty competitive career, right? Because you want clients, and if your clients are with you, that means they came from somewhere else. Or if your clients are with someone else, that means they're not your client, or they came from you. And so it was really important to it's one of those careers where you can, if you wanted to, you could coast and be completely average. I've even met some financial planners that were really bad, but they were making six figures because most people don't know much about investing or anything like that. They get their statements quarterly or whenever they send out, and they don't know what they're looking at. So my point is, when I was doing it, my goal was to be the best I could. I didn't want to be average. I didn't want to be like everybody else. And I was very good at my job, very good at it. It just wasn't my calling, right? Like ultimately, spring came around one year, and I was like, man, I miss what I used to do, and so I transitioned out of it. But my point is, like even now, it's been 3, almost 4 years since I went back to education, and I still, I'm better at financial planning and financial advising than most people that have been doing it for 4 years. But it's important to, same thing with like what I'm doing, education. Like it's easy to be a bad teacher and you can just pull a paycheck, but you're not changing lives. You're not making a positive impact. You're not doing good for your community. And so it's important that no matter what you do, that you always strive to be the best version of yourself. You should be a better version of yourself than you were when you woke up, when you go to bed, if that makes sense. You should be a better version of yourself at work every day when you come in too. We should always strive. And you're right, it's easy to be simple because it's really easy just to come in and pull a check in any career. It's really easy to do the minimum requirements and do the minimum expectations and pull a check. And some people fell upwards. Some people failing upwards when you're totally incompetent, but you still get promoted somehow. It's possible to do that, but you're not going to go far that way. But if you really want to get the most out of your career, most out of your life, and leave a better legacy for your children than you inherited, then you have to keep working harder to be better than what you were. So I really enjoy that. I appreciate that quote.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know if y'all have heard the Grandmaster's message yet, but there's a quote in there that he talked about. It's better to aim high and miss the mark than aim low and achieve it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I tell my wife that all the time, that we're going to shoot for the stars. And if we land on the moon, we're on the moon, right? So it's a lot better view from up there than from down here.
That's true. That reminds me also of the conversation we're having. I don't know if you were in yet because you're trying to figure things out, but we were talking about the Vanguard Award. The Vanguard Award is a list of best practices, and it's not easy. There's a lot to it, but your lodge will benefit from endeavoring to earn the Vanguard Award. If you don't get the Vanguard Award, that's fine. You've still adopted a lot of best practices, and your lodge has improved because of it. But if you want to be a premier lodge, if you want to be one of those lighthouse lodges where everyone looks and sees, okay, that's a special place. The Vanguard should be like the foundation of what your lodge is. It shouldn't be something you're even striving for. It should just be a given. We're moving past that and trying to achieve more things in this.
I chime in on that, and that's exactly right. Like that's like the minimum, right? To be outstanding as a lodge, right? Like, or to be good as a lodge. Like, hey, we're doing these things. This is what good looks like. And to be even better than that, it's not easy, but it's attainable. It's attainable to do those things. There's a lot of lodges out there that probably do excess of what the Vanguard Award does, and they don't chase after it either, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would also, Dennis, back to the quote, right? I'm thinking about Brother Cesar Rubio, who does the Masonic Muscle podcast. He always talks about, like, hey, it's not only the mental, it's the physical too. What are you doing for your physical temple, for your body, to go out and be better? I know that's been a challenge for me. I was really sick at the beginning of the year. I mean, really sick. I was down and out for quite a bit, and I'm trying to build that back up. It's like, okay, I've got to get that done, and then part of that too is getting work back where it used to be. All of those things, right? It's like, man, I missed out on some stuff because I was sick, and it was very apparent. But now it's like, okay, I got to get these things going again. So this is a great quote. Thank you for bringing it tonight.
I like the analogy, and I like the analogy of bodybuilding because that applies also. If you just go to a gym, first of all, you're already doing better than 1% of people. You're going to a gym, but if you go to a gym and you're just doing easy weights, you're not really doing anything, right? But if you're trying to improve your physicality, for example, then you have to push your body, and that you have to keep increasing that over time. Those 50-pound weights, you're going to outgrow those. But if you just keep lifting the same weight and just doing the bare minimum, you could say you worked out, you might maintain something. but you're not improving yourself necessarily. What's up, Byron?
It's another day, brother.
Good to have you, man. Good to see you. Feels like we're all wiped out already. The week hadn't even started.
Man, y'all are weak. I'm just trying to get my tech together. My phone is trying to die now.
Michael O'Brien over in chat says, one thing though is that life is long, and a good balance between striving and staying within oneself will allow guys to get the work done and age gracefully. Yeah. I mean, I have seen people that have worked themselves into an early grave, and that's not really what that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not saying that's what you're suggesting either, but I've seen that where like their work balance is way off. You know, like they get divorced, their kids hate them. Their life revolves around one aspect, and that they're hyper focused. So definitely have to be attaining that balance while we're working to improve ourselves for sure. What's up, Kadeem over in chat? Good to have you, bro.
Well, and it's all relative. It depends on what you want in life. If you want to be better than anyone else in any particular field, then you're going to have to make sacrifices. Mm-hmm. It's plain and simple. It doesn't matter who you are or what your financial background was coming into this world, if you had a silver spoon or not. If you want to be better than the last guy, then you're going to have to get it together. Mm-hmm. I mean, even King Solomon had to do that. I mean, his dad was David, for goodness sake. I mean, how do you top that? The guy was born into royalty, right? Well, how are you going to gain the respect and love of all your people unless you're willing to put in the work and you ask God to give you wisdom so that you can win the hearts of the people. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what your goals are in life.
Absolutely.
Because if you want to be an Olympic champion and that's your goal, then there's sacrifices that are going to be made. I mean, we see it right now. We homeschool our daughter. She trains every day, but that's what she wants to do. And she's not missing out on school. She's not missing out on community activities. She's got lots of friends within the community as well as at church and at gymnastics as well. Hell, she's got friends all around the country. It all depends on what you want to do in life and what you're willing to do to get there. Yeah. And I'm not saying that any person is worthless for making decisions on their own. People can find balance in whatever it is that they want to do. It's all give and take. It's all correspondence. It's all ends of degrees in polarity. It's all right there. We have to make those decisions. A man that grew up in the suburbs of Dallas, you know, being rich may be $1 million. But a man who grew up in Park Place in New York, being rich means having $1 billion. It's all relative. And so, you know, you're going to have to work different to achieve those different successes from whatever point you're at. So, you know, we do want to find balance, but if we're happy in what we're doing and we can find balance in what we're doing, that's what's important.
It's very true. I agree with
you. I'm not trying to negate whatever, you know, that, sorry guys. I'm not trying to negate what was said about, you know, about living a long and whatever life. None of us know when we're going to die, so you know, I'm just going to go for it while I can.
Well, if I'm
not,
this may sound kind of opposite of what I was saying earlier, but honestly, like when you're younger, I sound like an old guy now. But when you're younger, you can go a lot harder. And I think as you get older, you have to start finding that balance more and more. I think you can, when you're younger, you don't have the family life to balance. You just have a job or whatever. So if you want to be like Olympic gymnast, or if you want to be a football player, basketball player, I watched a movie when I was a kid. I think it was uh, Jordan, like when he was a kid, like how he would like spend all day shooting hoops and stuff. You can do that kind of thing when you're a kid, right? You can spend all day with a big old rack of basketballs and shoot all day long. Um, you don't have a wife or kids or a job or anything like that that's going to really pull you away. But as you get older, you kind of got to start stepping back and finding that balance.
Champions don't make excuses. Excuses are for the other guys. Look at Warren Buffett,
Hmm.
wealthiest man in the world. Does he have a family? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Does he have everything he's ever wanted? Yes, he does. Did he earn it all? Yes, he did. Why? He became the best, absolute best at what he does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I don't know, man. I'm not about that. As you get older, got to slow down, find your balance. I'm not about that. I'm 52
I think you're a
years
little
old.
biased.
I'm 52 years old. I do more than a lot of people half my age
Yeah.
every day.
But I'll also say that there have been people that have asked me how I find time to do all the things I do, and it's just a matter of how you do your time. If that
Right.
makes sense. You gotta,
Well, it's all priorities.
well, yeah. Well, it goes back to what you're saying about sacrificing things. Like maybe instead of spending 3 hours in front of the TV, I'll work on editing videos or setting something up or whatever I got going on, and I'll spend that time doing that stuff, or work on preparing for my job or something, knowing that's what I want to be really good at. And you can sacrifice. See, it's like trimming the fat. You can trim the fat without sacrificing what's important. And then when your wife at 11 o'clock or whatever wants to watch TV, you go watch TV with her because you've taken care of all the small things that you have to do. But I think a lot of people
Yeah.
that say that there's not enough time, that they can't get things done, they also spend an awful lot of time scrolling, doom scrolling on their phone or watching stuff on TV.
Right. Right. Yeah. Take for instance today, my Sunday. I went to work. When I got done with work, I had to go in today. I got called in today. When I got done with work, I came home, got on the backhoe for a little bit, jumped off the backhoe, went in and worked on Sarah's flag project for her Joan of Arc presentation that she's got for on Tuesday. I designed an apron for the Arkansas Lodge of Research, and
Nice.
that's graphic designing.
Are they creating
And
one? Like, are they
yeah,
creating a lodge of research?
they've got one. They're reinstating it, and they want a new apron for their Lodge of Research, and I've been asked to see what I can do.
Cool,
So I
man.
created a square one as well as a rounded one to give them options. Designed that tonight. I rewrote and formatted bylaws, rules, and regulations for my lodge. And now I'm on this show with you guys. And as soon as I get done, I'll go and cuddle up with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's all in what you want to do. Oh, and I started the morning reading the Kabbalion. So I woke up and started reading. Oh, and I also did the dishes this morning. So before I went to work.
Yeah. See, I'm
So
not
it's
hearing TV or Netflix or anything like that.
hell no. Hell no. That's for the weak at heart. I mean, we do watch it, don't get me wrong, but that's not the priority.
Yeah.
The priority is getting all the things done that need to be done every day so that life functions smoothly, so that I can have all that I want. My daughter can have all that she wants. My wife can have all that she wants. That's all that's important to me.
Yeah.
And then Freemasonry is in there, and I get my Freemasonry in, but it's a part of my life. It's not all of my life.
What's important to also realize that like your focus is like what's important to you isn't necessarily the same as what's important to your kids or your wife. So like
Right.
focus in on the stuff. Like if you spend 4 hours just doom scrolling, and then your wife wants to watch TV with you, like, oh crap, I can't, I haven't done anything that I'm supposed to do. Well, now it's too late. Like either you got to sacrifice being productive, or sacrifice. I mean, you've already sacrificed being productive. Let's be honest. Or
Yeah,
sacrifice
so
time with your
you
wife.
need to throw that away
Yeah.
and move on to your wife because she deserves it.
Yeah, because to her, what's most important might be time with you.
Her. Yeah. For
And the
her,
same thing with
what's
the
most
kid.
important is her.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that she's your number one priority.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
made that mistake
So yeah, you gotta.
more than once.
But I think that's what I mean when I say that's where balance comes in, because you have to be mindful of other people's needs also. When you start neglecting other people's needs, they don't want to. If you can't help fulfill other people's needs, they'll find someone that will.
Well, and in all reality, when you're talking about, that balance and being mindful of everyone else's needs, you're being mindful of what God wants from you. So without getting into this preaching or whatever, but you got to realize that these people were put into your life. That child was formed by the love between you and your wife. If you don't nurture that relationship and then nurture that relationship with your children, then you're not following that plan.
Mm.
And who are you to say that you know better than that plan? Because it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have those blessings.
Very true.
And I'm going to let you guys talk. I've talked enough now. I'm going to let you talk while I find this other video. How's that?
Sounds good.
So that I can tell you the author.
So I was just actually there was something I actually did read this week that I was that's what I've been listening, but also kind of flipping through this because there was a quote in here, and for the life of me I can't find it because I remember it being significant, but I couldn't. But now I can't seem to find it. But is anybody part of the Grand College of Rights?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so all it is just a little $50 a year membership, whatever. But what they do is every year they send out the Collectionia, right?
Oh,
And
I am a member of that. Yes.
yeah, so the one that they just sent out, they actually sent out part 1 and part 2. One of them is the history and ritual of the Strict Observance Lodge, which if you know your history, it's one of the predecessors for the Scottish Rite, and then they actually have the New Orleans Scottish Rite, the Blue Lodge ritual here. So what they do is they find old, basically old degrees that really aren't worked anymore, and basically put them into this kind of format. Anyway, I haven't read through the New Orleans Scottish Rite one, but I did actually read through most of the history and ritual of the Strict Observance Lodge. And for the life of me, there was something in here that I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Should I
But
highlight it? You didn't highlight it?
no, I'm just not a highlighter. I like my books, clean and pure.
You didn't earmark it?
Don't bend my pages.
I
But
know I'm the same way.
My books
if-
are
if
all
I-
beat up.
I'm going to kind of keep flipping through it, not spend too much more time on it. Anyway, but I did actually want to, and it's not a plug for that you should belong to the Grand College of Rights, but you should belong to the Grand College of Rights. It's actually really fascinating because, especially like this one, especially if you're a Scottish Rite Mason, but even just even Blue Lodge, if you just belong to your Blue Lodge, it's interesting because you'll see where a lot of our stuff comes from, but it also fills out, and in some ways, kind of gives a little different take on some of our degrees. And actually kind of goes a lot more into some of the meanings behind some of this. But anyway, there was something in here. For the life of me, I can't figure it out. But anyway, if you got an extra $50 to spend a year, the Grand College of Rights is certainly worth it. And there's several Texas Masons who are in the leadership of that organization.
Sounds like the right thing to join.
So,
Jason gave the exact face I was expecting.
So
that was a wasted 10 seconds of my life.
Give me more time. I can waste it.
I know there's an age where you're supposed to completely appreciate all the dad jokes. I'm not sure I'm quite there yet.
Daniel laughed. That's all that matters.
Jason, you just turned 50. You're prime dad joke age. Or maybe you've already passed the hill.
Jason's at the granddad joke age now.
Hey. No grandkids yet.
I shouldn't joke. That's only 8 years down the road for me. But on the bright side, you'll always be older than me, so I can still give you a hard time. Oh, what else is going on with everybody? Is there like degrees or anything with the Grand College of Rights, or what is it? You just like say you want to join?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you just go on there and just fill out your information, and then I guess they actually do have a semi-formal process where they like bring your name up at some annual meeting or something like that. But I mean, it's nothing more than just joining online. But they do actually during Masonic Week, they actually have a grand session, and they actually have like grand officers, and like Arturo de Horace is one of them that is part of it. He was a past chancellor. Somebody else in Texas is either like the current or most recent chancellor or something like that. I can't remember who it was.
So this has been around since 1930. So if you joined, did they just send you like the backlog, like just one every year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Hermetic rite looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Pete Norman was a chancellor at one point.
Well, of course he was.
He who shall not be named was as well.
Right. So that y'all know, that motivational speaker is Napoleon Hill, and he's like a speaker from back in the days of Manly P. Hall. Napoleon Hill, and
that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he sounds like a lot like Manly P. Hall as well. When you listen to him on the channel, it's got that old sound to him, just like when you listen to Manly.
He wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, it was him?
He wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. Well, this one, the one that I'm talking about is here. Let me get back to it now. Dang it! I just closed it out.
Did they make a movie about him a few years ago?
It's called "Do What Is Hard." If you want to get somewhere, do what is hard. Did they make a movie about him?
Sorry, what? No, I was contemplating on the title of that, and that's very profound. Yeah, they made a movie about him.
Sorry about that. I keep knocking myself off of here. Speaking of being old.
It's all good. Brad, you are a child. You are very immature.
What?
He's giggling over there. Brad is.
About me knocking myself off the screen?
No, about you doing what is hard.
Hanging. Oh my gosh, I'm here with a bunch of children.
His face matches his shirt. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that.
Don't
I'm
be
so
acting all
disappointed.
surprised.
Oh, I'm not much better.
So, one of the things, Byron, you went to the right worshipful sir. You went to the Grandmasters Conference this weekend. How was it?
It was really good. It was very informative. They have done some really interesting things with it's the Masonic Charities Foundation. So I'm guessing they have um, restructured. They've moved the office into the grand office building. They have basically turned it into a volunteer organization. I'm not sure what kind of paid staff they had before, but they have none now. And as of March 31st, in comparison to last year when they had, I don't know, 700 or so man hours devoted to putting together and dispersing funds for that charitable foundation this year already. Okay, that 700 hours they did in total last year. This year, as of March 31st, they've already done over 1,400 hours of work on this deal and are very much looking to expand their offerings. There was a presentation from them. There was also a presentation from the home and school, whatever it is called now. That's Masonic Family Services, I believe it is. They are not following the same kind of path, but they are looking to vastly increase what they are doing. One of the things that I heard spoken out loud that was very telling to me was an admission on their part that we are doing a terrible job of taking care of our widows. And that is something that they are looking to rectify quickly. So I'm very happy to hear that because, my mother-in-law is a Masonic widow. The Grand Master's words were inspiring and heartfelt. His make an impact message this year is obviously something that is very close to his heart. He very much stressed that we need to live as we claim to be and be those empathetic, inclusive, and thoughtful persons that Masons are called to be when we truly follow the tenets of the order and apply those principal tenets within our daily lives. There was obviously recognition of the grand line officers that were there, as well as the appointive and elective officers. The big thing that I took away from it, though, was the fellowship. This is I don't know how to put it without sounding like a sop to the current political climate, but the simple truth is what we've got is a really strong grandmaster with some very good thoughts and ideas, and he's trying very hard to put those things into practice within our Grand Lodge. And I, for one, am very appreciative of the direction that he is taking, and the changes that are going to continue. One of the things too that was mentioned was something that Right Worshipful Henderson put into work for his year was that Ashlar program, and they expounded upon that pretty well, and we've talked about it on this show too. It's certainly something that is worthwhile and should be happening at the Blue Lodge level. And and they reiterated that message again. So it was a really good conference. I very much enjoyed it. I wish I had been able to get there earlier and stay a little bit later, but it has been a weekend, let me tell you.
I understand. Can you?
For sure.
I went to a Grandmaster conference too, the one in Fort Worth, but I guess I forget. Can you reiterate what is the Ashlar program?
So that Ashlar program is basically a setup for it starts with a mentorship aspect and a mentor being assigned to the candidate before he is ever initiated. And this is basically going to be a touchstone for the candidate to build, maintain, and then expound upon his connection within the lodge. And then there are certain, not tasks, but there are, pamphlets that are distributed to the candidate, then to the entered apprentice, and then to the fellow craft, and then to the new master mason, that are all basically taking items from the monitor and putting them in front of the candidate that he may or may not get during the lecture. So few people do the long form lectures now. It doesn't include all of that information, but it does include enough to get them to, as one guy put it, take the cellophane off of the monitor and read it. The big takeaway for me in that was, though, the mentorship aspect of it. That mentor is expected to maintain his relationship with the candidate brother for a couple of years. So it's not just getting him through the initiatic rite, but it is to help the new brother really and truly become involved within his lodge. And I am super, super in favor of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's part of the program that they've taken pieces out of the program that was created years ago, that was taught in the OLT, and I'm a strong proponent of that as well. Justin and I have spoken on that several times, but I have to agree that the Grandmaster has been pretty much doing what we expected him to do. We didn't think that he was going to just sit around and do nothing, and so he's going to work for sure. And I've seen a little bit of that myself. In fact, he didn't get up and walk out when I sang "Home Sweet Home" by Motley Crue to his wife. So, Lady Loretta, if you're out there listening, then I hope you enjoyed it. I know you did, and I know that a lot of the other folks did as well. But I don't know if the Grandmaster did. So, but no, he's right. You got to be true to yourself. And
I'm upset that I missed that performance that night.
Don't worry, you come back and that's because you were still messing around with that other deal. It's not my fault you were a day late and $1 short. Well, I should have called you Dennis Lates.
Sir, if you should heard all of the compliments we got on that sign that we hung that night, so.
Yeah, well, I went over there to help. I waited until
then you went back to go sing.
Yep. Well,
okay.
That's because I had people waiting on me.
Well, let's set the stage here for a second.
It's what we were talking about earlier today. It's all about priorities.
Yeah, and your priority was to make sure you sung for the First Lady of the Grand Lodge of Texas, is what your priority was.
So you're saying everyone else is carrying a heavy sign while you're trying to carry a tune?
And they had a wonderful time, didn't they?
And they did. My priority was make sure we had our new sign hung up for Goliad, so everyone coming in that Saturday could see our nice, pretty new sign that's going to be there long before my grandchildren are dead.
Y'all should have posted a picture of that somewhere. I would have liked to have seen it.
Well, we can still do that. It's going to be around for 100 years.
Post it to the inner circle or something, or so that I'm curious what y'all did.
Dude, we got up there. Oh my gosh! Now this sign is solid steel, and we're talking about 3/4 of an inch, and it's solid steel, and it's 3 foot wide. It's 3 foot around, and that sucker was heavy. It took every bit of 3 people to lift that thing up in the air just to get it in place. And then we had 3 people on ladders at the same time, grabbing it at that point to take it up and put it into place. And then it wouldn't fit. So we did it a couple of times trying to get it up there, and then finally we cut it off, and I left at the point of getting it back up there, getting it positioned, and then he had started tack welding it into place because that was another thing. It didn't fit, so it was originally going to be just screwed into place, but we had to cut brackets off of it, and the brother that made it stuck around to try to help us get it put into place. And then another brother called his dad, and his dad pulled up with a MIG welder and welded it up right there in place.
Nice.
It was awesome.
So
I'm posting some pictures in the chat here. I hope they come across. If they don't, let me know. But yeah, we were at 9 o'clock. Because we had the sign made by the Woodsboro ISD Ag Shop, which my kids go to. So the cool thing is, I can say that my son helped make the sign. Now he probably didn't do a whole lot, but he did a little bit. But I can still have that claim. But the problem is he made it perfectly around, and where it goes in, it's 33 1/4 in diameter left to right, and it's 32 3/4 from north to south.
Oh, so it's not on the building. It's on the
circumambulation, baby. Circumambulation.
You have like a pole.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the first picture I sent is the actual sign, and then it's him actually putting the sign up.
Somebody didn't square the circle.
No, yeah. He didn't square the circle. At 9 o'clock at night.
Is the circle squared in the lodge? Let me just ask you that. If it is, then something's wrong with your lodge. Things that make you go,
Yeah, especially. So, but yeah, we wanted to make sure we got it before Grand Lodge come that next morning. So we were down there at 9 o'clock at night with text messages from our spouses going, "Where are you at? Why are you not here?" It's like, well,
I know. And I had already told Lady Loretta I was going to sing, and she made the Grandmaster. She made Most Worshipful sit there and wait for me. So what was awesome was that it was Most Worshipful, it was Cody Cockcroft, it was Kevin Binder, and it was Lady Loretta, and then who else was it? There was one other brother there. No, I'm talking about that was part of their group. They were all sitting at the table, and she made every one of them sit and wait. Oh, and Cody's wife was there.
Yep.
And she made all of them sit and wait until I got back over there to sing. So,
and it made my wife
they
sing
were
2 songs
forced.
while we were waiting on Dennis.
They were forced to listen to me screech. And it probably wouldn't have been so bad until I took my hat off and started headbanging. And then it probably made them uncomfortable.
So I'm kind of glad I was down at the lodge putting that sign up and not having to listen to that. But
you're probably right.
There was a time where I thought you would be joking about the headbanging, but now I have no doubt that's what you actually did.
No, I'm sure he did. It was an interesting Friday night, is for sure, is what it was.
How we party in Goliad.
But that sign is banging. Yeah, it is nice. So good looking, man.
Yeah, brother Byron, right? Worship Brian Weber. I'll get it out in a second. Was there, so he saw the sign. It looks fantastic.
I want to say another thing, and I'm going to put some pictures in the chat. I want to thank Right Worshipful Byron Weber. We talk about true and trusted friends, and we talk about people who just show up, right? When you need them, they show up. And I am so happy that I have met and have become good friends and brothers with Brother Byron Weber. And the reason why is because he brought the footstone for our footstone ceremony, and all I had to do was call. And that was quite touching to me. I just want to say.
Thanks for putting in the footwork, Byron.
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
I saw what
We're
you
going
did there.
there. Good night.
He just had to ruin it.
Oh.
My gosh.
Okay, I get it. You're a dad and you've got the jokes too, but we're all dad.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
I can't
You know,
help myself.
Here's the thing, Dennis. When you called, yeah, as I said, I really hadn't, I wanted to go, but I didn't really want to go. But you gave me a good reason to go down and have some true, amazing fellowship, not just with the brothers from Goliad Lodge, but from, some of the Grand Lodge officers and,
All around Texas. Yeah.
yeah, it was really great to see everybody.
Have you ever seen a lodge room that full before?
Never.
Never.
Yeah, not once. It was so amazing. When the folding chairs had to come out and be placed between the West and the altar, you're like, holy cow, dude, there's a ton of people here.
Yeah, several rows in too. It wasn't just one row
Oh,
either.
no, it wasn't just a couple of chairs. There were probably 25, 30 chairs there between the altar and the West.
I want to say it was 7 rows of 7 chairs, something like that is what we put out. It was a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bunch, but it was really cool. It was a great opportunity to hang out with a bunch of Masons that I don't see very often, or rarely see at all, or never see, and to take part in the ceremonies was touching to me. I'm a 5th generation, 6th generation Texan. So being able to take the time to take part in that dedication to the footstone for Right Worshipful Webb, or past Grandmaster Webb, was it was very touching to me, and that was actually the first time I had been to the Fannin Memorial, so that was another wonderful aspect of the weekend. And after this is over with, y'all ask me what I found on the way home, but yeah. So it really turned into a great trip. I really wish I had been able to bring Jay Lester Taylor with me, just because Jay Lester is such a freaking joy to travel with. And any of y'all that don't know Jay Lester, y'all need to. And you need to do it quick because he's 95 years old.
Right.
But yeah, it was a spectacular weekend. And this weekend was as well. Going and getting to go to the Grandmasters Conference was another new experience for me. There are going to be so many firsts for me in my year as a DDGM that it's really made me cognizant and very very mindful of the trust that the brethren of my district have put into me. And it's something that I'm trying to live up to, if you will.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We counted the roll for last weekend, and for the brothers that signed in, and we don't think everybody signed in.
They didn't. I saw about 30 of them not sign in.
Yeah, we had 75 people sign in alone.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
And
I imagine y'all ran out of room on the page.
We did. We filled up the whole page and started filling up another one.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
the
if only that
Grandmaster,
worshipful master could have got all this stuff right. That was.
Well,
you
It's
did
always
good,
next year.
Worshipful.
the punishment for that is you have to do another year.
Yeah. Don't start with that now.
People are kicking and screaming to be worshipful master of Goliad. I tell you what, most worshipful asked me. He said, he said to me, he said, I can't believe this. I really can't believe this many people showed up. And I had to tell him. I said, well, most worshipful, you're doing good. I said, this is when you see the Grand West is happy, then you see attendance.
Yeah.
So you're doing all right if this many people are showing up to this event. So, that's another, testimony to the year. And, I'm not going to say that everything that he's said or done has gone the way that I would prefer for it to go. I'm not going to say that, and he knows that about me, and I think that we understand each other in that way. But we both appreciate each other. But I told him, I said, you're doing good. You've done good, and this is testament of the year that you're having. So you need to just keep it up.
Yeah, people vote with
Yeah,
their feet.
he told me the same thing when he was getting ready to leave, because they were going to the Grandmasters Conference in San Antonio, and when he was getting ready to leave, I shook his hand and said, thanks for coming and everything, and he said the same thing. He's like, I can't believe so many people were here. I said, well, most worshipful, I said, we're going to chalk it up that they like you and they like me, so that's why everybody's here.
Not because
Whatever.
on Facebook.
Nobody
He said,
likes you,
sounds
John.
good, and he drove off. He said, that's good enough for me.
No, you're
I
right.
didn't realize how funny he could be. He's actually pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got a great sense of humor.
Oh yeah, because we opened up our masters, and he walked in and he goes, you got a part in this footstone, right? And I went, no. He goes, well, you do now. Come here, let me show you. Like, okay.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was a good weekend last weekend.
Well, and one of the things that stuck in my mind too is when we went through the training for DDGMs, they were saying, okay, here's the deal, guys. We're asking a real commitment from y'all. If there's something that the Grandmaster is going to be going to within a couple 100 miles of you, we expect you to show up. And I don't know if there was a count made of how many DDGMs actually showed up for Goliad, but I'm willing to bet it was about the same number as showed up for the Grandmasters Conference this weekend. And I know there were 25, 30 of us.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact count, but I remember there was a lot of
those 2025 aprons.
Yeah, a lot of 2025 aprons and a lot of badges, for the 2025 year. So there was quite a few, and from everywhere. You're right. I mean, there's from.
And don't forget those good-looking purple ties.
Oh yeah, those good-looking purple ties
with the skull on it.
Yeah.
My bow tie has a skull on it. Yep, skull and bones.
Yeah, when we asked all the visitors, in our. So here's the thing: is we try to open up the masters early in the morning because we don't expect a whole lot of people there. And when I got there at 7:15 in the morning and saw 30 people standing outside the lodge waiting to get in, I'm like, oh gosh, okay, here we go. So, we got in the lodge and we asked all the visitors to stand up and ask or introduce themselves. And Dennis can attest to this. They were from everywhere: Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, Corpus. I mean, they were from all over the place. So there was a lot of them there during that time. And usually there's not a lot of people when we're opening lodge. And there was a lot of people there. Last year, I think we had 3 visitors when we opened up our masters last year. This year the room was full. So the pressure was on. I'm like, okay, here we go. But
it was kind of dampened the year before, and then last year really didn't pick up steam, but this year we're back in action. So let's just chalk this one up to a learning experience, and now we're past it. Now we're back on to bigger and better things.
Are you talking about the event itself or just the state? Well, I mean, just it correlates. So I didn't know what you were talking about for sure.
Right.
But it all builds up momentum. It all takes a while to build that momentum back up.
Things do correlate, with Goliad for sure. It's one of the mainstays, and so, and it's always a popular event. Mm-hmm. So if we're doing good, then the Grandmaster is doing good. Last year it was still kind of tough from rebuilding from the year before, but this year everybody felt like it seems like everybody feels like we're back in business. We're back at it.
People are getting excited again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, usually Goliad opens up a masters around 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And then Grand Lodge representation.
Nobody wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning, except for Goliad.
Except for Goliad. I'm sorry you were still sleeping, but anyways, I said we were going to open up Masters Lodge around 8:15 or so, just to open it up and call it down, so that way we had, do that part. And usually we've only had, 2 or 3 people there visiting, get there that early because everybody else is downstairs eating coffee and donuts. But this year we had a good 30 visitors just to open up our master's lodge. And then we called it down, and then everybody else started showing up. So we had quite a few people just to open up. And then even when we closed it, because we as soon as Grand Lodge closed theirs, we closed ours. I mean, there was a lot of people that still were there hanging around.
Yeah.
So I underestimated how many people were actually going to be there. So that's my fault.
Is that why I didn't get a donut?
You didn't get a donut because you didn't show up early enough. Right?
Well, yeah, you're right. Because I did. I got there right at 8 o'clock.
I'm just happy that I didn't have to carry that footstone all the way to the gravesite because that sucker was heavy.
That sucker was dense, baby. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that was a heavy thing. The girls helped me put that into the ground, and I'm going to tell you, when you have your priorities straight, guys, the girls are willing to be a part of what you're a part of, and the girls went and helped me dig into that grave and place that footstone in that grave.
Oh man, it looks great though.
That's why the girls are in that one picture, because they helped do it. So I have to give credit where credit is due. I also just shared
that's gorgeous.
I also shared the picture of we mixed up the cement, and I've got pictures of Sarah mixing the cement, and we put metal grate into it to solidify it and give it some structure, and built a big base for that little footstone to go onto, so it won't go anywhere anytime soon. But I also showed a picture of at the end of Lodge, at the end of the closing of the Grand Representation, the Grand Lodge of Texas. That's all the people that are left, and I got to tell you, that's always less than how many show up. So
that's not everybody.
Yeah, we always open strong, and then at the end, everybody's just tired and they're ready to eat lunch, and they're in line to eat lunch. But that's just who stuck around to close.
Yeah, and not everybody that was there for the opening was there to close.
Right.
There was a lot of people.
According to my quick, and well, of course I am wearing my glasses, so I can sort of see most of it. Looks like 46 guys in that photo.
Yeah, that's only 2/3 of what was there.
That's a beautiful lodge room, by the way.
Oh, you like that picture of Jason there? The one frowning?
Yeah.
With the pointing me.
Everyone else looks happy to be there, Jason.
I know.
I know. Was that the day you turned 50? Is that why he's frowning?
If he's not the limelight, he's not happy.
Oh my God.
I'm not good enough as Jason, but I'm dead center right next to the Worshipful Master. So
my wife gets on me all the time. She's like, "You need to smile." I'm like, I am smiling. Apparently, it all gets blended into this here, and I think I'm smiling, but I'm not.
Is that the floor that was under the carpet? Didn't y'all pull up carpet like a year or two ago?
Yes. Yeah.
Why would you ever cover that?
I know. That's crazy. That was done in 2019. We redid the floors. That was done during my year during COVID. Mm-hmm. And so it still looks that good after refinishing it then.
Oh, and I was bragging to my wife because my wife used to remodel houses. I was like, baby, you will not believe the floors in this place.
Yeah, and
they really are. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, it was hidden, and it's so nice. And I showed the guys how to work the machines and how to sand it all down and do it, and we did it to it. We did it ourselves.
Yeah, it came out amazing. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I like how
Speaking
Jason
of
felt
which-
the need to point an arrow to himself.
Yeah.
Like, we knew where you were, Jason.
Speaking of which, Dennis, you and me need to talk offline about the floor, so we'll talk about it later.
Oh, snap.
Well, it needs to be
Dun,
touched up
dun.
for sure.
Yep.
I'm a little frustrated of the care that's been given to it.
Just put carpet on it, man. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
What's messed
Okay.
up is there's a whole generation. I don't know what generation it was, but they're like, hey, these hardwood floors that are beautiful. Let's put some carpet
That's
on top of
80s,
that.
man.
Let's
That's
glue some
80s.
carpet on it.
70s and 80s.
That's Dennis's generation.
Yeah. Shag was it, man. It's all about the shag.
Oh my gosh.
The shag up here, the shag down here, and the shag under your
Oh my
feet.
god.
It was all about the shag.
Dude.
Dude, you're terrible.
He's talking about
Hell,
chest hair.
I don't think I had any shag at that time, at that point in my life. I was that young.
We'll just end that conversation that way. But
Yeah, it just keeps
But
getting
that
worse.
was the era. That was the era.
in any case, it was a great weekend last Saturday with everybody coming out. So it was. I think everybody had a great time. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Right Worshipful Byron. Thank you, Jason, for showing up. I think it was a good time had by all, and I greatly appreciate all the help that we've had from all the brothers to make that a great weekend.
Well, and I know that we still have a couple of more of these coming. We've got San Jacinto is next month, and then we have Gonzales in October. But if I'm remembering correctly, San Jacinto is going to actually occur on San Jacinto Day, so it's like Wednesday, midweek.
Yeah,
But
they always do
Gonzales
that one.
should be on the
They always do.
weekend.
Yeah. I don't know why they have to do it on San Jacinto Day every year, but that's what
Right.
they do every year, and it's always during the week. I've never seen one on a weekend
Oh, it'll come eventually. It's
in the next
law of
5,000
large
years.
numbers. But
Yeah.
It's on Easter Monday this year.
Yeah.
is it?
Oh my goodness.
Easter
it's the
Monday,
after
yeah.
Easter. I was looking at the calendar, at Grandmaster's calendar, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna make that one." But you brought up Gonzales.
Yes, I did, and I did that deliberate.
Yes, you did. So I'm if you don't mind, Right Worshipful, I'm gonna bring up something about Gonzales real quick.
Come
There
on.
are plans to have another Fez off there at the brewery between
In
the
Shiner.
Shrine and the Grotto. In Shiner.
Shiners and Shiner.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to be La Bahia in Shiner.
It's called Shriners and Shiner, but it's a fez off. You're right. It's a fez
Fez
off,
off,
but it's called
and-
Shriners and Shiner.
And seeing how no one's really taken hold of that event, I have it on good authority that the La Bahia Grotto is going to take charge of it and have all of the festivities planned for all the brothers that come out and have a good time out there. So there will be more details coming as soon as I get with Brother Roy Burris about what he wants to do, because that's kind of his baby there. So we're gonna
Yeah, the
make
last
that.
couple of years, William Batters and Roy have helped Brad Billings get it together for the past few years, and since its inception, really. And so it only makes sense that our grotto takes over, because our grotto had, the monarch is William Batters, and the whoever's under him is Roy Burris. So
Yes.
it makes sense.
So yeah, so La Bahia Grotto is taking that event over. So there'll be more details to come on what we're gonna do out there for October.
And
Okay,
I
well-
need a neck lift.
I brought it up just to, suggest that, especially to our viewers and listeners, that, maybe this is another opportunity to get together and have some of that fine fellowship that we had at Goliad last weekend in Gonzales.
Yeah,
So-
it's always a good time. In the morning, you do Gonzales, and then in the afternoon, you go over to Shriner, which is just about 45 minutes away, and do the have the fez off. It's always a
So-
good time.
So what a lot of people may not know, and a few may know that are on this call, is that the brewery has started construction on a new tap house there on site, along with a sit-down restaurant, and also what I'm being told is a cigar bar is going to be there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nice.
Whoa, 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 there, right, Russell. I'm just saying.
Hold on now. Now you're talking my language.
That I know they
Yeah.
started construction. They were hoping to have it done, I think, by the end of summer. I don't know, with some of the weather we've had may held them back, but we're hoping, cross our fingers, in October they'll have that all set up, so we'll be able to have a sit-down meal and enjoy.
Well, even if not,
our
they still have benches and canopies out right now.
Yeah,
They-
no, they still
they-
have the normal stuff, but we're hoping that they're going to have the big building set up by the time we go.
When we started doing it years ago, there wasn't any of that out there.
Right.
It was just go and get your chip at this little it looked like one of those ice cream vending places at Fiesta, Texas, or at Six Flags, those little ice cream booths, and they had that, and then you went in to do the tour of the brewery, and that was it. Now that's a big deal. They have
Oh, yeah,
stuff all
they've got
over
a
the
whole-
place.
Yeah, they've got a restaurant in there. They got tables and chairs outside and tents and cornhole, and they've got the tap room there. They've got the spirit right next to them. You can take a tour of the brewery. It's a whole ordeal now. So it's a great time. But
Yeah.
like I said, the hope we're crossing our fingers that they'll have the cigar bar and the restaurant ready by the time we get there in October. So hopefully they can get that done.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay, so tell me, where is Cuero in relation to Shiner?
Cuero in relation to
45
Shiner?
minutes. 45 minutes. You go through Yoakum and then up to Shiner. It goes Cuero, Yoakum, and Shiner.
Yep, pretty much.
It's in a little bit of a zigzag, but
Okay,
that's
I see it.
goes-
Later,
Yeah.
Daniel.
All right.
Cool. Well, it's almost 10:30. Let's start doing our what are we the final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Let's do this thing. Anyone want to go first?
Yeah. So this past Monday, we had once again AMD, and as Dennis knows, he and I belong to a couple of groups in San Antonio. We've been doing these kinds of smaller education groups, presentation and discussion afterwards. We've talked about this stuff before, but Monday, so at AMD, there's kind of a tradition where you pick a degree from AMD, and your council kind of takes that on, and they exemplify it oftentimes at an initiation and stuff like that. Well, anyway, the degree that we chose was Knights of Constantinople, and the guy that did the presentation, so we had an initiation, we exemplified the degree, and then the discussion that evening was a presentation on the degree itself, and followed by a discussion. Well, the guy that that took it on and is, quote, the degree master, a younger guy, really excited about being in AMD, and has never done any kind of presentation, and you could tell he was really excited, but he was really nervous about it, because he's not used to giving these kind of presentations. But it kind of solidified in my mind that while I do enjoy all the stuff that we do in San Antonio that has been around for for years now, that the larger goal is to spread this and get guys that have not been a part of this kind of tradition, especially like in this area, to get them excited about it, to get them actually doing research, looking up these topics, putting together a presentation, and all that kind of stuff. So it was just it was really good to see. Somebody, kind of going outside of what they normally do, and really putting, you could tell it was not something he did at the last minute, and he had been talking to me about it for like the last 3 months when I first suggested it to him, and he wanted to make sure he got everything right, and and stuff like that. So it was just it was good to see that hopefully some of this stuff that we have been trying to do the last several years um, is now being passed on, and hopefully that tradition is going to stick around in the long term. So that was good.
Nice.
That's nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice. I had
Yeah.
on that note, and I'm going to jump out real quick because I know this is closing thoughts. I had a brother not too long ago tell me that they didn't like, they said, we're already doing this with AMD. I don't think that it's relative to what we're doing here. I don't think we need to do it here also. It's like, dude, we're not doing this stuff enough throughout Freemasonry. So that was disappointing. But kudos to you, Jason. Kudos to your AMD council. Glad you're doing it.
Absolutely. That's great, man.
And I can tell you that that one person is not going to stop me from making that happen elsewhere. So keep rocking it, Jason. You're doing good.
Nice. Anyone else have anything?
You have my approval, Jason.
Did
I couldn't see
anybody
his eyes roll
He rolled his whole
because I'm
head,
on my
man.
phone.
Sorry, Brad. What's up?
think of that song when he said Constantinople? That song, Istanbul, Constantinople.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was ringing in my head while he was talking. Oh man. So earlier, Brother Ruckenberg was also talking about different rites, some other kind of rite, and I just wanted to share that I've kind of made up my mind that I put it on my calendar to do the Scottish Rite degrees later this fall.
Where are you gonna go?
I'm gonna save my pennies for that and go ahead and do the endowment and everything, and
Wow.
just go ahead and pay for all that and do all 3 weekends up here in Dallas.
Nice, man. Let me know when.
Um,
Remind me. I'll come.
okay. And then Brother Right Worshipful Weber was speaking about the Grand Masters Conference, and we had that up here too in Garland at Hella Shrine, and went to that, and they were talking about the Ashlar program, which just oddly enough, I had just kind of started looking at that, and it's been for the last month. We've actually been going through that on that program with the EAs in our lodge, and the those letters that I'm making, inviting the candidates to their degree with the wax seal stamp that I learned from you guys, and that included with the Ashlar program for the candidate. So I didn't get to do it with John because we weren't messing with the Ashlar program yet. But I'm actually going to do it with this new guy. We've got a guy. He's going to be initiated a week from Thursday, and so I'm going to meet with him and uh, go through the candidate portion of the Ashlar program with him before his degree. Um, and that just kind of ties it all back together with the whole theme of tonight of balancing your time, sacrificing things, and trying to, make sure you're spending time with your family and spending time working and spend time in masonry. but also get a little bit of downtime in there. Maybe do some fishing, doing something else, to feed back into you. Uh, but that's all I got, guys. Thanks for letting me talk.
Appreciate that, man. Love that. Byron, Josh, John.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to kind of reiterate a little bit of what Josh was just, or what Brad was just saying, rather, that I feel like, you guys know how I feel about the initiatic rite. That this is a very much a valuable and meaningful portion of the Masonic experience, and this Ashlar program is very much a value added to that rite. Um, it's strong, it's well thought out, and I, for one, encourage every Blue Lodge to do it. I fail to see how it could be counterproductive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no downside to doing this thing. So that's what I've got.
Just build stronger lodges. I agree. Josh or John? Nothing?
I'm good for tonight. Good discussion and everything. So I appreciate everybody on the call and look forward to the next one.
Nice. Well, I'll keep it short too. I'm kind of dragging for some reason real bad tonight. But appreciate all of you, and always enjoy the conversation that y'all bring to the table every evening. Sorry I didn't start with a quote. Like I said, my brain is not working tonight. I don't know why. So I didn't even think about a quote until we got started. So I apologize. That's my fault. But other than that, we'll have Jason on Wednesday, and we'll do our interview with the famous Jason Rackenberg, and then see y'all again next Sunday. And if y'all didn't participate in the Chapter 2 Kabbalion discussion, it's online, and I would encourage you. Like we had a good conversation, but more people always bring different perspectives. So I would encourage you, if you just couldn't make it, try to be here next month, or this month, I guess, when we do it at the end of the month. But get caught up, read Chapter 3, and this is good stuff. These are good conversations, so I'm glad we're doing this. Other than that, peace out. Appreciate y'all.
All right. So, going back to the original quote of the quotes of the day, just so that you can go back, so that others can go back later on and watch these videos. The first one was Heart of a Champion, and it's narrated by Coach Payne. So that's the one you want to look at, and it matters that you listen to it with Coach Payne, because the way he gives the way he speaks, it really helps you it drives home the understanding of what it takes to be a champion. And then the other one is Do the Hard Work, and that is by Napoleon Hill, and that is he is an excellent motivational speaker from back in the day, and I recommend either one of them. Now you hear me and you hear Justin and I talk about different things for you to grow your lodge internally, and hopefully it'll affect you externally, which will then affect you internally again. It's always cyclical. You're always building your inside. So you start with the inside, it affects your outside, which in turn fills the cup of your inside. It's all cyclical. It all comes back to you. It's all relevant. And so, you hear us talk about Masonry all the time, but, I also listen to motivational speakers, and, we talk to each other a lot. I have my own mentors, and they help me throughout my journey, my Masonic journey. and I have mentors with different strengths. They all cater to different parts of my journey that I need to work on for me to gain the success in life that I want to have, whether that be in business, with personal finances, with with my real estate stuff. There's always people that I can turn to look for help, and then I turn around and do the same thing. I've helped several people on with their first investment properties, and even further into bigger deals. And I wouldn't be able to help others if it wasn't for the people who came before me that helped me. And so one of the things that I would like to drive home tonight is the importance, and I think I've been harping on it the last month and a half, 2 months now, the importance of realizing that while I am a master mason, I am still an apprentice to someone. And once I don't feel like I am an apprentice to someone, then I need to push myself a little bit further so that I can rely on somebody else and learn from somebody else, so that I am required to find someone that I can be an apprentice to. That's my job. When I become the master, it's time for me to find that next level for me to become an apprentice to someone else. And I want to challenge each and every one of you to do the same. If we're not doing that, if we're staying stagnant, we're not growing. If there's no, and this goes back to just like y'all were saying with Brother Rubio, if there's no resistance, you're not building strength. You're not building muscle. If there's no resistance, you're not building strength. Same thing in life. If you don't have some kind of resistance against what's going on in your life, then you're not building, whether it's building in intellect, building spiritually, building in character. I mean, they always say, you heard your dad and your grandfather always say, it builds character. Well, that's the truth. It does. And not, you don't do it just for building character's sake. It's all part of your journey, but it definitely builds character. And that's, of course, what we want to be, as men of character, right? When all the chips fall and everyone else is looking for excuses and looking for the easy way out, who's going to stand up and say, here I am. I'm the one. I'll take it on. I'm not afraid to. The people I know will lift me up. And if I need to find more people to help me with that challenge, then I will. All egos aside, I'm just here to grow, learn, and answer the call. Whether that's from my brother, from my wife, or from God. I'm here to answer the call. And I hope you are too, brothers. Keep it between the points.
Do what is hard, my friends.
That's right. That's right. Do what is hard.